Alright, so two things have happened since the last time you guys saw me like this. First, I got a haircut. Second, I got my heart ripped out by the last two chapters of One Piece. Now, these chapters kind of put a little bit more context into the One Piece game right now, and it kind of gives a view of what's about to go down, and it might lead to some conclusions regarding Luffy's abilities as a whole. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and let's dive right into it. Now, we're going to start with 1185 and 1186. We're going to get to a little bit later. So with 1185, basically we get a glimpse into Brook's past as he grows up as a kid in Asperia. Reuven and Candle are basically his guiding lights, and we kind of see some of the intricate things that lead to Brook's interesting personality traits, if you will say. But through this, we kind of do learn that a while back, Asperia had visitors from the Holy Land. So Celestial Dragons visited Asperia, and there was an issue there. And we know that Candle was bedridden after a while for that. Right after which, it was said that Shuri was born. Now, Celestial Dragons and normal people, especially women, going into this situation, we've kind of seen it happen before with Bonnie, so we kind of do know that Shuri is probably a celestial dragon by birth, biologically. Reuven is not her father, and that's kind of messed up that Oda keeps doing that. But it is like a villains being villains. It's still very icky, but it is still villains being villains. But basically, we kind of do get that. We find out that eventually. So actually, we're going to talk about this. So this is an interesting way to show time passage that I do like, where Brook uses a song that he learned to teach Shuri about not giving a shit about what others are thinking, or just ignoring what others are judging about you. And through that, we kind of get a glimpse into how Shuri grew up and their time together. And eventually, we find out that Asperia had a gigantic had a time period where they basically were getting that was basically a mist related epidemic which caused Asperia to lose like its population as well as all its instruments and stuff just because of that mist. Now this mist is interesting because again the floating triangle is also like a mist ridden thing, but again the giants were already there in it, so I don't know what's going on over there, but it could be related. It could also be a ploy by the celestial dragons to harm Asperia just to get this just to set up for what happens in the end of this chapter. But during the epidemic, we lose Candle. It's very emotional, serious time period for everyone, but then they eventually do get past it. But then we come to a point where Reuven addresses the nation and says that we can't pay the offering for the celestial dragons anymore. So we are going to basically have to go to war with the world government. And war with the world government for a dying country is never great. So we see that eventually the war comes along and Asperia is in tarnishes. And we see Brook rushing off to the castle just to protect Shuri and Reuven. But he comes to the point where when he comes to the throne room, Shuri has killed Reuven and has the wings like Gonko does, alongside a celestial dragon who is with him. And this guy kind of looks like Shiryu a little bit, because he has got like very same like cigar smoking habits, and his facial structure is very much like Shiryu. So I'm kind of finding some level of connection there. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like there might be a slight connection there. But anyway, we see that Shuri has killed Reuven, and basically tells Brooke that it's probably the best that he should kill Reuven so that the war could end. And that's where we leave off at 1185. Now, 1186, the reason why I delayed talking about 1185 is because 1185 was inconclusive. It left on a cliffhanger in such a crucial point that it didn't really make sense to talk about 1185 just as is. 1186 brought into some much needed conflict. Much needed resolution towards the conflict that was presented in 1185. Now, 1186, we see a little bit more dialogue with Brooke and Shuri over here. And we kind of see a lot of interesting traits presented by Shanks when he first joined when he first joined the God Knights, and with Shuri over here, because she says very much the same things that Shanks says. Now, this could just be like a coincidence, because we kind of don't know if Shanks was being controlled at that point or not, but it is something that is strikingly similar, because some of the words uttered by Shuri over here are verbatim or almost verbatim to what Shanks said when he was with the God Knights. So here we see that Shuri is glad she killed her father. I don't care what everyone says. Reuven is her father. Biologically, I don't care anymore. Like if Reuven is not her father, I don't know what could be considered a father. But anyway, so Shuri basically says that she feels disgusted having spent most of her life away from her true family, away from her true heritage, and she hates the fact that she was meant to loiter down in the dumps with these people. And you can see Brooke feels visibly frustrated by this. So you kind of understand what Brooke went through, what Brooke felt when he said, like, my patricidal princess, when he first saw Shuri as Gonko. So he does and Brooke basically, okay, so coming back to this, Brooke basically is trying to like be like, you can't do that, like you can't say that, that's not what I don't believe that's what you think. And here the Celestial Dragon, the God Knight, reveals an interesting fact about Shuri's eyes, the heterochromia related thing, and it seems like it's a really powerful ability that is desired by Emu. It's something that we don't hear much because Emu tells me to shut up immediately, but it is something that is desired by Emu and it needs to be awakened. So it's kind of like an ability, kind of like a devil fruit. But again, if the theory that devil fruits are basically awakened abilities that are stored inside fruits that have to be passed on to other people is true, then there could be similar people like Emu, like the other celestial dragons could have inherited abilities similar to Emus. Instead of passing down through devil fruits, they are passed down through through lineage. So that's another very interesting thing, and this is a power that Emu is really invested in. So we might see a lot more about that in the future, because the way this chapter ends kind of gives me some level of hope, and hopefully we see something crazy happen by the end of Elbaf, because I am counting on it, because we need some level of some level of hope coming through this entire story. So anyway, we see that after all that, this entire encounter ends with Shuri stabbing Brooke through the head. which is basically the first instance of the Yomi Yomi no Mi working for him. Because he survives this. He survives a stab through the head. So he not only as far as I remember, when Yomi Yomi no Mi was first introduced, it says it allows the user to come back from the dead once. I don't recall it being more than once. So I don't know what's going on over there, because as far as I remember, it was only one time, and then it was like you can come back to it. But maybe I'm getting my understanding of the Yomi Yomi no Mi wrong, because I've not really looked much into it, but probably this particularly proves it, that the Yomi Yomi no Mi can keep bringing back its user back to life. I don't know how it works, but it seems like a really powerful tool. Anyway, so we see that even though that Brooke gets stabbed through the head, he survives, but when he remembers, when he's reminded of what happened, it still causes a lingering pain. So he does suffer some level of amnesia from this, but he doesn't remembering it brings back the wound. It seems almost like the wound reopens to a certain extent. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on up there. We need to know a little bit more about Yomi no Mi, because it's one of the lesser talked about fruits. Because it's really powerful, like the Soul King abilities that he has been able to do, the fact that his soul can be separate from his body. It's an interesting fruit. Okay, so now we're going to come towards the end of this chapter, where Brooke basically makes a pleading, like we finally realize that Shuri might not have been the person, villain, but a victim in the situation. So Brooke over here finally realizes that Shuri is not a villain, but a victim over here, and because he finally realizes that, he kind of says that to the rest of the crew that, will you help me save Shuri? Because in the end, like, if Shuri had not done that, she was still the sort of like a daughter that Brooke raised, right? It was something like, outside of Candle and Reuven, Brooke was her only other mentor. So, and Brooke saw her like his protege, or like even his daughter to an extent. So it's kind of insane that if only that didn't happen, Shuri would probably have been with Brooke on the ship when he went to Laboon, when basically he joined the Rumbar Pirates. So pretty interesting over there. I would like to see how the transition from him over there move to the Rumbar Pirates, like from him being the captain of that thing into the Rumbar Pirates. I would love to see that transition as well. But right now, we're not at that stage. Basically, right after Brooke asks the Straw Hat crew to help him save Shuri, we go back to Emo and Dragon's fight. And here, Emo actually says a really interesting thing. Apparently, the giants during the Void Century, I believe, basically subjugated themselves just to save one child, which is so mimic. This is in response to Loki saying that, like, you guys just kidnap kids and hide behind kids to protect them. And it goes to show a lot about the giants' personalities, about what they value the most, and says a lot about Emu's personality as well. How cowardly it is that he cannot take a fight without hostages who are just children. And after Emo makes that makes that claim that the giants kind of gave up their entire subjugated themselves to save a child, I have so much respect for the giants. Like, just for one child, if you can do that, it is something that is almost iconic to me. Like, I honestly think they're race to look up to. Like their people are the people to look up to. Like if you can, it's just such a good thing that they did, but it probably led to a huge tragedy, and nonetheless. Then, but at this point, we see Luffy is now ready to take on a fight. So he's eaten enough and he's ready to take a fight. And just when Emu and Loki are about to clash, we see Luffy and come in and punch the shit out of Emu. Now, I don't know how much this hurt him, but it looked like it hurt him a lot. And my god, after this backstory that has happened right now, I hope it hurt. I hope every single punch from Luffy hurts like the amount of pain that he has caused every member of Esperia, as well as every celestial dragon has caused Esperia. Oh my god, dude. Oh, dude. I don't know what to say about these two chapters. It was a very interesting yet sudden jump back in time. Because honestly, I thought Gunko was like something important, but I didn't think she was going to give us an entire backstory into Brooke. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm looking forward to the next chapters. I'm looking forward to what this happens. Now, before we go, I do want to say some of the implications. The fact that Brooke has got a person captured by celestial dragons and is trying to save that person has a couple of implications over here. So the first implication is Emu's ability to control people. So Shuri, when she was being controlled, I don't think there was anything, at least not shown to us, that they did to control them. So there's a chance that anyone with celestial blood, celestial dragon blood, should, I think, have an automatic contract with the Emu. That's why she was able to influence her so quickly. Because I don't think that they didn't show that there was a contract ever signed by Shuri, right? That was never shown, right? So I don't know if it happened outside of her purview, but there is a chance that anyone with celestial dragon blood automatically has a contract, high level contract with the Emu that they can automatically be activated. The second thing, now this is a really big one. If we are going on the line that Luffy is the antithesis to Emu's ability, we might actually see someone be liberated from the control of Emu. And in this case, I think she would technically join the Straw Hat crew because that's literally, Brooke is her only family left, right? So I don't see her going anywhere, but basically that's it. And I really want this to happen. Like I really want to see a way out of Emu's control. And Luffy's literally the answer. He's literally the warrior of liberation. There should be an ability of his that can actually liberate someone under his command. Maybe we won't see it in this arc. Maybe we can see it in the next arc. But there should be at least a glimpse of that possibility in this arc. But that's about it. This chapter was insane, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next chapters and what happens afterwards. A lot of things to focus on, but I am ready for it and I am excited. But that's about it from me, you guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, consider leaving a like down below and subscribe to the channel. I've been Korogami, and I'll see you guys in the next one.